What if I told you that the voice in your head isn't actually your voice? That critical inner narrator that questions every decision, highlights every flaw, and predicts every failure operates on autopilot, programming from your past. Most people spend decades trying to argue with this voice or drown it out with positive affirmations. But there's a simple trick that doesn't fight the negative thoughts. It neutralizes them entirely. The moment you understand this technique, you'll never be held hostage by your inner critic again. Most driven professionals are fighting a hidden battle against themselves. You know that nervous feeling before a big meeting when your stomach knots up and your mind races with everything that could go wrong? You question yesterday's decisions, wonder if you missed something obvious, or feel like you're faking it while others seem confident. This self-doubt creates a trap in your brain. Every time you question yourself, you strengthen neural pathways that make doubt automatic. The more you second guess, the easier it becomes for your brain to resist the success you're chasing. It's like building an invisible ceiling that limits you, even if you have the skills to soar. Think about the opportunities you've missed because you thought you weren't ready. Maybe you skipped a promotion because you felt underqualified. It didn't pitch a business idea because it wasn't perfect. Or passed on a leadership role because someone else seemed better. These choices add up, flattening your career despite your hard work and talent. Science shows that negative self-talk runs like background software in your mind, making snap judgments before you can think clearly. It's always scanning for reasons you might fail or don't belong, acting faster than your rational brain. By the time you consider an opportunity, your inner critic has already labeled it risky. The worst part, this voice gets louder when the stakes are higher. Big presentations, client pitches, or major decisions trigger more doubt than small tasks. When you need confidence most, your inner critic screams loudest. This internal fight slows your decisions, makes you avoid risks, and stops you from seizing key opportunities. You waste mental energy battling self-doubt instead of chasing your goals. There's a specific brain mechanism behind this that most people never learn to stop. But here's the exciting part. Top professionals have found a way to change this pattern completely. The breakthrough isn't about fighting your negative thoughts or drowning them out with affirmations. It's about understanding they're not actually your thoughts at all. Picture the professional who walks into high-stakes meetings without that familiar knot in their stomach. They make decisions quickly without endless mental rehearsals of potential failures. They pursue opportunities based on strategic evaluation rather than fear-based hesitation. This isn't about becoming fearless. It's about distinguishing between useful caution and destructive programming. The technique is simple but powerful. When you notice negative self-talk, you mentally step back and ask, whose voice is this really? That critical inner narrator often sounds like a parent, teacher, or colleague from your past. The voice that says you're not qualified enough mirrors your high school math teacher who made you feel stupid. The voice that predicts you'll embarrass yourself echoes a parent who criticized your childhood mistakes. These aren't your current thoughts. They're recorded messages from outdated experiences. At the neurological level, this recognition interrupts the automatic pattern. Your brain processes this programming as current reality until you identify its true source. The moment you recognize whose voice you're hearing, your prefrontal cortex engages and evaluates whether this historical perspective applies to your current situation. This creates immediate distance between you and the negative thought. Here's how to implement this during crucial moments. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm not ready for this promotion, pause and identify whose voice that represents. When you hear everyone will see I don't belong here, recognize which past experience created that recording. The negative thought loses its grip when you understand it's not your current assessment, but someone else's old opinion. Sarah, a marketing director, used this technique before a board presentation. Instead of battling her inner critic, she recognized it as her college professor's voice who once criticized her presentation style. This recognition allowed her to evaluate her current capabilities objectively. She delivered the presentation with clarity and secured approval for her campaign budget. Most people notice shifts in their internal dialogue within days of consistent practice. The old patterns don't disappear immediately, but they lose their automatic authority. Warning signs include increased criticism during stressful periods or reverting to old thought patterns during major decisions. The voice in your head transforms from an enemy into a navigation tool when you understand its true nature. Your inner critic has been operating on outdated programming that has nothing to do with your current capabilities or potential. The moment you see it for what it really is, it loses its power over your decisions. Start practicing this technique today, especially in those moments when you catch yourself hesitating or second guessing, because every time you neutralize that voice, you're rewiring your brain for the success you've been working toward. You now have the key to unlock the career trajectory that your talent and ambition deserve. The only question is how quickly you'll start using it. Hope you learned something new in this video. To keep improving your skills and get more tips like these, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What do you want to see next? Let me know below.